Hey guys, just want to talk to you a little bit about VoiceAttack, something we brought up in our last show. Um, it's a program that you can use that lets you do voice commands to actually do keystrokes. Kind of works similar to a button box. And basically what you want to do is go to voiceattack.com and you'll see a download button and a purchase button. To buy it, it costs $10 US. If you live in Texas, you are charged tax, but very cheap software, very powerful software. We'll kind of go over a couple of features to using it. If you do download it, they do have a free trial. Last time I did the free trial, it lets you do about 20 or 25, I think, commands. But in iRacing, you're going to probably need more than that, depending on what you want to do. So $10, support the software. There is some other add-ons that can be purchased. I know there's one called Digital Race Engineer that someone is producing that also costs a little bit of money. I'm not sure how much. I haven't used it, but it's got a lot more detail. It will give you feedback in the race, like how far the guy in front of you is, and somebody's coming from behind, and maybe you're gaining on the leaders. It does all kinds of little feedback information. It's a little more than a spotter in iRacing actually gives you. It can tell you their iRating, things like that. So it's pretty cool. Search the forums for that. It's Digital Race Engineer. So let's get started. Okay, you can see this is it. It runs in the system tray. It runs minimized, so there's not a lot of things that after you get it set up, you really just forget it's even there. Let me show you a little bit about how I have it set up. So basically, what I have is I go into joystick options, and you'll see it has my Thrustmaster TX racing wheel as my joystick enabled. And I'll show you why I do that. I have the push to listen set up as a button on my wheel. You'll see basically it don't really show you a picture of your wheel, but you can set it and enable it to a certain button. You notice when I click a button on my wheel, it changes to which button I want. So the reason I do this, you can have VoiceAttack set up to listen all the time, but sometimes if there's noise or maybe you're just mumbling to yourself, it can pick up those commands and possibly mess up and do the wrong command. So I set it up as a button on my wheel, just like my push to talk for TeamSpeak or my push to talk for iRacing, so that it doesn't catch any background noise, anything like that. As far as the audio, I have mine set up to my USB headset, Windows default playback, and default recording device. So everything comes in my headset and listens to the mic on my headset. I think it defaults to your default, so if that's already your default, that should work out fine. That is basically the only thing that you really have to set up. I do want to mention that if you go through the Windows voice recognition training, it does help improve things, and it may pop that up and ask you to do it when you install it for the first time. Setting up your microphone and stuff. One thing I will mention is launch with Windows Start. That makes it automatically start. Minimize the system tray. Start minimized. So if you have it minimized to system tray, you'll never even see the icon on your taskbar. So that's pretty simple. Now we're going to go into what they call a profile. So I have a bunch of commands that I have set up for uh, pitting and stuff like that. They sort it by pit strategy or by category. You can put a category in there to help put everything together. So like I have add 5 pounds of air to all tires, fast repair on, fuel only, right sides only, right sides and fuel. Those are the types of commands that I have set up. Let me go into right sides and fuel, for example. So basically how it works is when I say right sides and fuel, it's going to run this list of commands. And it's pretty easy to set up a new one. I'll show you that in just a second. I'm not going to erase this one and start over because it's kind of long, as you can see. You have to spell out each letter, and we're sending it as a text command into iRacing. One thing is iRacing does have to have focus when you run this, because whatever program you'll have, and this is how I'm going to demonstrate it too, is whatever program you have opened will be the one that it tries to do this command to. Here you'll kind of see what happens. I'm going to say right sides and fuel, and you'll see what it types. Right sides and fuel.
Right sides and fuel, fast repair is off.
So there you go. You see that it sends the T command, and iRacing tells it to go that you're fixing to do a text chat. The clear says clear any of your pit commands. Right front, right rear, fuel 100 gallons, and the reason I put 100 gallons is that means I want a full tank and the windshield tear off. And it also has an enter at the end so that basically it's going to type it up on the text chat, fill in that whole command, and hit enter. Here we go. We're going to show you how to set up a new command. We're going to go back into our profile and say new command. Let's say we want to do a text chat that says get out of my way. So that's the words that you'll actually speak to VoiceAttack. So now we're going to click record. So one thing that you may want to do is record pauses between key events. Sometimes it presses the keys too quickly, and you have to in iRacing, so sometimes it don't catch all the commands. So I do consolidate key up and key down, and record pauses. Now when we start recording, it's going to get a little confusing because it does like it'll say key pressed, key pressed down, key pressed up, or whatever. So it's going to look a little funny, and it takes some getting used to. So you might have to play with it a little bit. So I hit start recording. I'm holding down the shift key. So I typed out get out of my way. I'm going to hit OK. You're going to see that it says text chat. I put the left shift key. It's going to make a capital G. So it basically records every key that you pressed. So we're going to click OK and done. I'm going to bring up my notepad again. Get out of my way. Now one thing that I did forget to do is I forgot to put the enter on the very end. So let's go back into it and we'll show you how to fix that. So one thing that you can do is you can always just click on this command, and then it'll pop it right back up for you. So we're going to come down here to the end. I think you might have to highlight the last one. Key press, and we're going to do enter and click OK. You'll see it put the entered key on there. Click the OK, click done. Get out of my way. So, just wanted to kind of show you that. There's a lot of other things that I use it for, and I'll show you a couple things. Go back into here. You'll notice I have a couple of programs I told y'all about. Start Analyze, Start MoTech, Start MU, Start Sim Racing App, Start TeamSpeak. Let's go into that one for example. When I say Start TeamSpeak, you can click Other, and then Advanced, or is it Windows? Windows, sorry. Run an application. It's going to pop up a window, and you can go to that wherever that program is. I'm going to show you with this program right here. Do an edit on it. So there's where my TeamSpeak is. This is the working directory. You can do a test run and that'll make it pop up. There's a couple of other things that it can do. I hadn't played with it very much. I think you can wait for on another application to start before this one starts. So you can also make multiple commands as well. One thing I like to do is make it say what I just told it to do to make sure that it heard me. So after I run that command,
starting TeamSpeak,
it'll do that for me. So start MU.
Starting MU.
Okay, so I already had MU running, but basically what it'll do is start the program for me, and go ahead and run. I don't even have to pick up the keyboard. So if you're ever driving and let's say you forgot to start up TeamSpeak, you can say start TeamSpeak. Start TeamSpeak.
Starting TeamSpeak.
And I got my TeamSpeak on another window, and TeamSpeak will pop up for me. You could probably go ahead and set it to open whatever TeamSpeak channel you have. But yeah, it's pretty neat. I have some admin commands in here too. Mute all drivers is a good one. Mute the driver that's currently talking. Fuel only, for example. So fuel only.
Fuel only. Fast repair is off.
We run in a league a lot of times that has one fast repair, and long time ago you used to couldn't turn your fast repair off in the INI file, and that might be something else we cover in another time. But so you'd accidentally use your fast repair at times. So I always had mine set to clear everything, and that would turn the fast repair off. But what would happen is I might be involved in a wreck and I need to use my fast repair, but I'm telling it no service this time, for example. No changes this time.
No changes this time. Fast repair is off.
So we'd always have it, if you was involved in a wreck, you didn't want to you wanted to go ahead and come in and fix all their damage first, or something like that, and I would be trying to come in and after being in an accident and forget that my fast repair just turned off, and if my engine blew, I was done for the night. So I put that little extra reminder on there that hey, you just cleared all your commands and your fast repair is off. So anyway, you can make it say after the end of each command what you want it to do. I have it for yellow flags. Throw yellow.
Caution thrown.
So it'll throw the caution for an admin if you're running a league, something like that. It comes in real handy. End of the longest line, 33.
End of line completed.
So I could even do car numbers and things of that. Black flag, 33.
Black flag thrown.
So basically that'll give the 33 car a black flag. Clear 33.
Car cleared.
So it clear the car number 33. So that's some of the things that, especially people that run leagues, Um, you have to be careful with these things too, because you know, it can misinterpret you at times. So you know, it's pretty good, but you know, sometimes it might not recognize what you said. Another handy feature is going between your F boxes. So I could say fuel, graphics, gas. Uh, that's the same. You can. That's another good idea too. You can make it say multiple things and do the same command. In-car adjustments, lap timing, pit stop adjustments, radio info, relative standing. So that's another good thing to do. Turn on your ghost car just by saying the word ghost to it. Split, that changes your delta green bar across the top. You can even turn on the pit limiter, and this is the main reason I made it push to talk. The starter button. One time it thought I said starter or ignition. I don't know which one it did. I cut my car off and could not figure out what happened. So make sure that's the reason I switched to the push to or push to listen, as they call it, was because my car actually got cut off in the middle of it. But yeah, I'll post all my commands somewhere. I'm just kind of going through and showing you different things, like you can do the frames, the little bar up at the top, gears, little gears windows, clean windshield. Hey, the dirty windshield now. Oh, another cool one is tear off. So tear off your visor for dirt. So you don't have to have a button for it. You can just say it. And there is some replay commands. I don't use them. I got a lot of or several text messages, and one of them's 33's pitting this time. That's my car number in my league. Leaders approaching lap traffic. Please watch your language. There is some dictation stuff that you can actually do where you could actually have it read or translate what you say to it. I didn't have a lot of luck with it, so I've never really used it. So that's just something that you can do. I'll let you read up on that if you want to get it. But I was trying to say reply to a text message, read dictation, say yes or no, or taking 4 tires, send dictation, and I couldn't really get it to work. So anyway, it does work. I think you have to say start dictation, and maybe I said read to make sure that it done it right. Anyway, you'll have to read up on it. But you know, all these things are little things that you can add. It can do a lot more too. This is just what I do with it. So I hope it helps. Again, it's $10 investment. It's cheaper than a button box. I don't. It's one of the pieces of software I probably couldn't live without. I do have a button box, but I rarely use my button box. I usually use my my VoiceAttack for my button box. So anyway, just thought I'd share that with you if you're new to iRacing. And like I said, any game that you use, Call of Duty, that might have some sort of text commands or anything like that, you can use this software. So you can see right now as I'm talking, it's still picking it up, but till I press the button, it says listening resumed there. It won't actually do the command. So just wanted you to see that. Maybe it'll help somebody out. Pretty cool little feature. Thanks.